Hey guys, Ash from the future. First off, just want to thank you for the continued support here on the Champions channel. It's actually really cool. My goal still is the same as it was when I started this channel, essentially making a guide for pretty much every champion, covering their blessings, basically updating a bunch of old guides and touching on champions that we have never touched on before, maybe some unsung heroes. Generally speaking, I'm starting with kind of better champions who are definitely more worth your resources than I'm sure will be in 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years here on the channel. Either way, though, I'm having a blast, and I wanted to issue an apology. The reason I'm recording this whole preamble is because it struck me while editing that for about 2 years, I've been pronouncing this dude's name as Kurzad instead of Kurzad. So never again. I apologize in advance, especially now that I've mentioned it to you. It's probably going to bother you 10 times more than it would have, but I felt like you owed an apology. Actually, I felt like the little dwarf here, Mr. Kurzad himself, with his amazing flowing orange-red beard, I feel like he deserves the apology in the preamble. So guys, with that, enjoy this guide on Don't Call Me Kurzad Ever Again Deepheart. He is an amazing champion, and I hope you enjoyed the guide today, and thank you again for the support here on the channel, guys. Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today with another Raid Shadow Legends Champion guide. Today is going to be a good one, guys. One of my favorite rares inside the entire game. I rank this dude higher than I think any other content creator or tier list that I see out there on the internet. I put him top 10 in my rare champions. Heck, I might even put him higher than that, but I'm about to record a top 15 from 15 to 1, ranked in order in terms of my own personal favorite rare champions on my main YouTube channel, Ash Raid Shadow Legends. So check that one out, but this guy is sure to be there. Today we're going to talk about why. It is Kurzad Deepheart. Man, I love this little dwarf. He's a rare champion. He is void affinity. He is, well, we just said it. He's a dwarf. Why do I love this dude so much? Let's go ahead and look at his kit here. He's an attack-based champion. On his A1, Bushwhack, attacks 1 enemy, places an extra hit if the attack is critical. The extra hit places a big version of decreased speed for 2 turns. That's 100% decreased speed off the A1, provided it's a critical hit. This is a void affinity champion as well. Dude, I love this ability. It's amazing for Fire Knight. You get 2 hits in the big version, decreased speed, 100% land on the A1. Dude, already got my attention with the A1 on this rare champion. Flailing Pick. A2 attacks all enemies. Each critical hit fills a champion's turn meter by 7.5%. So heck, we're getting like 30% turn meter fill when we attack 4 enemies with this ability on a 3-turn cooldown. The cool thing here, similar to his A3, they're both on AoE attacks on 3-turn cooldowns that do not need to be booked down from a 4-turn cooldown or a 5-turn cooldown, okay? So you're just adding books just for damage on the A2, right? Books are going to be more valuable on the A3, but this is definitely a champion that you do not have to book for a while to get utility out of, or ever, really. Deep Ambush is A3 ability. This places an increased accuracy on all allies for 2 turns. Again, don't need books for this ability to place increased accuracy on a 3-turn cooldown. I want to pause right here, guys. How many champions? First of all, he was the first AoE increased accuracy champion added to the game ever in Raid, and he remains the only rare champion with increased accuracy on an AoE. Check it out, guys. These are the only increased accuracy 50% in the entire game. We get Archbishop Pinthroy, Lady Kimmy, Rule the Huntmaster, Simpson the Masher, Supreme Kale, Yoshi the Drunkard, and then we have Claude and Pestilus and Kurzad. That's it. Only 3 non-legendaries, and we're looking at one of them right here. And again, this is on a 3-turn cooldown. Fantastic ability. And he's placing increased accuracy on everybody before he attacks everybody. Then he's placing decreased defense. Now, it's only the weak version of decreased defense, but sometimes that's all you need for the extra damage. It's nice to have, especially if you don't have another debuffer on your team, which is often the case in all the rare secret rooms that you can use this champion on top of Faction Wars as well. This guy can be used almost everywhere in the game in terms of a dungeon control champion, secret room control champion, and Faction Wars as as well as a debuffer, damage dealer, and control champion with that A1 as well against bosses with the decreased speed. He's bringing so much to the table, man. So increased accuracy is going to help him land that decreased defense without having to load up accuracy on himself because, again, he's placing it on himself before he attacks, before he goes to place the debuff. So, again, you can book this ability up to get it to 100% on the decreased defense, but really, we're using a million books, 9 levels on the A2. We have 6 levels on the 9 levels on the A3, 6 levels on the A2, and then 6 more levels on the A1. But again, that decreased speed is guaranteed provided you get the first hit being critical. So you're only booking this champion. You're using a ton of books too, right? You're using a ton of rare skill tomes just to get that decreased defense up and a little bit extra damage. I don't think it's worth it, but I mean, I did because I love him so much, right? A little extra damage. We're min-maxing this champion, right, in the end game, but you certainly don't have to. So let me show you how I built this champion, man. I love this dude. Kurzad is so good. You ever go up you ever like have a new tournament position, you didn't do anything? You're like, oh, did that mean I'm falling from 1 to 2? Or does that mean I rose somewhere somehow? Probably means I'm falling. I don't know. All right, so Kurzad. I thought I just used him, man. All right, where is he? One of my favorite dwarf. I would say he's just my favorite dwarf straight up in the game. He is such a cool champion. So here he is. He's in a stun set. You guessed it, man. I love my rares with 2 AoEs like this or 1 AoE on the A1 in a stun set. It's so helpful in the end game with all the secret rooms. We're going to show you one of those today. Let's show you the artifacts and then I'll show you the masteries. So obviously a stun set and a speed set. In terms of stat priorities on this champion, we're going with obviously 100% crit rate. We do want to land that decreased speed on the A1. We want to get 2 hits as well. So we want the attacks to be critical. And again, he deals some nice damage too. So we want 100% crit rate. Crit damage after that is a nice to have. Same thing with attack and attack percentage. But just realize one of the downfalls of this champion is he's very squishy, right? His base HP is 12k, his base defense is 870. So you might want to use some of your accessories, your ring and your banner, especially for HP or for defense to keep this dude alive, okay? But if he's doing his job right, landed a ton of stuns along with a few other stun champions on your team. Hopefully he won't even be hit. But again, unless you have a reviver on your team, you have to be cognizant of his survivability, which isn't great. His accuracy, 249, is a little low for where I'm using this champion, but he's bringing increased accuracy to the table right before he goes to land his debuff. So I think that's totally fine to get by with 249 right now for where we're going to be using him, which is going to be endgame content. In terms of his stuff, I told you I used to have accuracy on the banner, but I switched it out for HP for that very reason we just went over. Crit damage on the amulet and HP on the ring. By the way, guys, I forgot to give my man a shout out. Oh, did I show you this in the beginning or not? Dude, I'm getting old. I forgot already. But either way, Barzuk says, please get the guide on Kurzad soon. I want to make him good, but don't get him at all. Okay, did I show that earlier? I'm totally forgetting. I'm recording a little behind the scenes. Nobody cares, but I'm recording like 3 or 4 or 5 of these champion guides all in a row, and I'm losing track of where I showed the screenshots ahead of time or not in the comments. I apologize. If you want to see a champion guide, go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to make it happen eventually here. So we have HP again on the ring. We have crit rate on the gauntlets. We have attack percentage on the chest, but I will, again, be very, very clear. Going with HP percentage, going with defense percentage even, isn't the worst idea in the world. It's not going to make a massive effect in terms of damage, and keeping this guy alive is going to be goal number 1. Speed on the boots, and again, we're looking for some accuracy. We're looking for some survivability, some crit rate, crit damage, as a substats here. So there it is, a stun set. You could also run a perception instead of speed. You could argue it'd probably be better for him to have a little bit more accuracy, even if it comes at a sacrifice of like 3 or 4 speed. Let's go ahead and go to the masteries, guys. I'm going to build these masteries out together with you guys. You guys seem to like this in the comments. If you don't, feel free to let me know. So I'm not going to go offense. I think most people intuitively would be like, yeah, he has 2 AoE attacks. He's an attack-based champion. Let's go offense. Let's go down and get War Master. I don't think there's anything wrong with that build, but I like going defense and support, especially in a stun build, especially defense. So let's start there. Let's go with, this is how I like to do masteries too, like when I'm doing them, when I'm picking them out for a fresh champion. I'm thinking about how I'm using them, first of all. This is mainly a control champion with a little bit of damage, some debuffs as well, some buffs as well. So what's most important, right? What's most important is fearsome presence, getting that stun set from 18 to 23%, right? He has 2 AoE attacks. I really like that at 23%. Because we're going to go Fearsome Presence, we're definitely going to have to go Harvest Despair. And then I'd like to pick up Master Hexer, have a chance of extending the duration of the decreased speed and the decreased defense. I'd also like Lasting Gifts, the chance of extending the duration of the increased accuracy, which is going to be great as well. So those are my most important masteries. So I just want to make sure that we get all of those. I'm going to get Blast Proof to mitigate AoE attack damage. Resurgent, one of the most powerful masteries out there to cleanse debuffs. I am going to go Harvest Despair, as I mentioned. I'm going to go Retribution, chance at counterattacking, chance at getting 2 hits, and chance at landing the decreased speed, right? And then we're going to end with Fearsome Presence. And then on the support tree, I don't actually think I need the extra accuracy. So instead, I'm going to go with the extra HP because, again, this is a very squishy champion. So I will go Exalted Death. I'm going to come down here to Swarm Smiter. I'm going to pick up Arcane Celerity, okay? 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a debuff cast by this champion is removed or expires. We could also go Rapid Response because he has increased accuracy, but keep in mind he's bringing 2 debuffs to the table, and he's only bringing 1 buff, so we'll have more chance at turn meter increase with Arcane Celerity. Just be careful if you're ever using a champion for Clan Boss. You want to be cognizant that that will screw up your speed tuning. Let's go with, I think the rest is going to choose themselves. Cycle of Magic, Lasting Gifts. We're going to go with Evil Eye. We're going to go down to Master Hexer, as we spoke about. And then we have one more to pick out. Well, let's pick up Charge Focus, a little bit extra accuracy, and we don't have any skills on cooldown. So there we go, guys. Those are the masteries that we're going with here. In terms of blessings, we went with Dark Resolve. Has a chance of blocking, freeze, provoke, and True Fear debuffs when an enemy tries to place them on this champion. Plus, I get a nice little bump to the HP. I have him 3-star ascended, so I will take that 10% chance of blocking debuffs. I like Dark Resolve. I kind of, when in doubt, I'll go Dark Resolve or Phantom Touch on most rare champions. So it just depends on how you're using them and who you're going up against in terms of bosses and dungeons, etc. And guys, check out this little dude's multipliers. He has a godlike damage rating as a 2 on his A1. Keep in mind that could be 2 hits as well. We have a 3.3 on his A2, strong overall grading, and a 3 on his A3. Again, strong or average, excuse me, overall damage grading. So his A2 is his bigger damage dealer, but again, it's kind of close between his A2 and his A3 ability and a godlike damage on his A1. So guys, I think that's a good job on the guide here. You can see his total stats, almost 40k on the HP, which is what I'm aiming for. Generally speaking, for endgame content, I'm trying to aim for, like, even on rare champions, for 40k and 2,000, so we're a little bit shy, but I think we're just going to be fine as well because I have been using him even squishier than that historically in this particular case. So let's go ahead and go into Doom Tower, guys. We're on a fairly new rotation here at the time of this recording. I think it's Secret Room 5. Yes. Secret Room 5 is rare attack champions only. The mobs that we're going against here, they're level 230, man. They're absolute monsters. So Kurzad, again, in that stun set is going to be pivotal to this team. Here we go. We have Galek, Soulbound Bowyer. We have War Maiden. We have Ashwalker, of course. So check this out. I'm going to come in here. So I usually lead in with the A3, right? Let's get that increased accuracy. We still have the stun chance on everybody else. I will note too, I mean, this is probably obvious at this point, but when it says place increased accuracy on all allies for 2 turns, that also includes him. It doesn't make it sound like it includes the actual champion you're talking about when you read those skill sets. I always kind of wondered why it was like that, but here we can just target whoever's not stunned right now, and then we'll just come in with the A1 of Soul Bond. And that's how this team works, man. I have everybody on this team, except for War Maiden, in a stun set. Just so you know. This is the strat that I use, basically. I've made a few videos now on this. It shouldn't be a shocker to any returning viewers here. But I think it's probably worth mentioning that I am a massive fan of stun locking as a strategy on endgame content or any content that I find challenging in this game, especially wave, like dungeon content. You can see that like one mob got through with 1 hit. It wasn't much. It might look easy what I'm doing right here, guys, but this is super challenging. Why is it super challenging? Because these mobs hit so hard, and I don't have a reviver. This is an attack-only team. There's no attack revivers. Certainly no rare attack revivers. I don't think any in the game, right? I could be wrong. I mean, like, there's conditional revives, you know? But All I'm saying is that, like, if somebody dies, we're toast. This is why stun, 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 stun. If they never take a turn, they can never go. You know, it's as simple as that. We don't have to worry about them hitting incredibly hard. We can just take our time here and stun the daylights out of them. And again, you can see the decreased defense, the weak version, decreased defense, decreased defense. That's going to help, man. We do have the big version on War Maiden as well on this team, but she's not always going to be able to have that decreased defense up. So it makes these a lot quicker in terms of the overall time. And check this out, guys. He doesn't have any offensive masteries on him, right? He doesn't have, crazy crit damage gauntlets or anything like that on him. And he's still out-damaged everybody on the team. So he's definitely a great champion. He's going to help make sure that we land all of our debuffs from everybody else on the team. Let me see if Dwarf Faction Wars are open right now. I don't know what we got going on. I don't think they are, though. Let me see. But guys, they're not, unfortunately, but I love this champion. I hope that you do too. Hope you have an appreciation of how special his kit is. You can even use this dude as an arena setup / debuffer, okay? In early arena or just speed farming your Great Hall, you can use him as kind of a dual spot. Kind of like think of a budget Lady Kimmy and a budget name your debuffer, right? Because he's bringing the increased accuracy, and that's going to help him, again, land his decreased defense. And in this game, in this meta right now, against a lot of teams, even the weak version of decreased defense in the arena is going to be enough to set up your nuker. If you have a great nuker like a Genbo or, any of the legendary great nukers out there, or a Magnar, that's going to be enough, that weak version, so that they're consistently killing everybody anyway. So guys, this is why I love that dwarf. Thank you so much for watching until the end of the video. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.